This is Dylan Neal from Thief, and if you hate music as much as I do, then you are listening to I Hate Music.
How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good. So I'm trying to figure this the headset thing out because I hate wearing them like this. Yeah. Then I can't hear my fucking voice.
Yeah, exactly. True. Yeah.
And the speakers on this laptop are fucking broken, so I have to do it this way.
Yeah, nice.
You're like a real DJ with the one headphone.
The one headphone.
Yeah. I'm fucking spinning fucking techno.
So you were in the studio today recording?
Well, I'm here pretty much every day, just trying to work on this new album of mine. I mean, usually I just get in the studio and then I realize everything I did the day before was shitty.
Right. Yeah.
And then just do everything over again. And then I get back the next day and then it was like a little less shitty. And then I do most of it over and, until you're done.
Yeah.
So in about 10 years, I guess we'll have an album.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Yeah, 10 years. That's
it's going to be probably a couple of months. I'm getting there now.
Your output seems to be pretty prolific. I don't know. As far as my creativity, it comes out a lot slower than yours, dude.
It's kind of like I have periods when I do a lot of stuff, and then I just have periods where I just I fuck around and nothing happens for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, right.
So I probably have like 5 albums started,
Wow.
All going in different directions, and so you just kind of have to like buckle down and focus on one of them.
Right.
I can relate to that a lot right now. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Do those all become Mortiis albums, or are they other projects you have as well?
I think they're going to be all Mortiis albums. Nice. I'm kind of over the whole side project thing. But,
yeah.
But you never know.
Yeah. Right.
If something turns out to be so fucking like weird and out there, that it won't even fit as Mortiis, then maybe I'll bring something back from the grave, as far as side projects. But I don't think so.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we're all in Portland, Oregon here. And you were here last summer. You played Enchanted Forest and Star Theater.
Yeah, right.
I unfortunately had to miss those shows because it was my daughter's birthday. But
both days.
Well,
yeah. What the hell's your problem, man?
Yeah. She has 2 birthdays. No, the one in Enchanted Forest sold out like way quicker than I could get a ticket.
Yeah,
that was a small show though, man. It was like what was it, like 150 people or something,
exactly.
or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But I missed out. But you guys went, didn't you?
I went. It was a spiritual, man. It was
terrible.
Really cool. No, for me it was not. I don't know about you, how you feel, but I really enjoyed the show, and I thought you nailed it. And
it was all right. I mean, it was weird, and I liked the place. It's not your typical venue for me, but I think what made it stranger was the fact that was the first time I did that album.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's all. The maiden voyage, so they were like two strange things. It's a cool place, no doubt about it, but it's an unusual venue, and you're doing a lot of that music for the first time I ever had it live. So
had you had requests for that in the past? Were you asked a lot about playing that album before?
I don't know if I think not necessarily asked to play it live, but a lot of people talk about it as in a sort of Dungeon Synth kind of conversation. If I talk to them, it gets brought up as the one that they seem to like the most. Not everybody, but a lot of people seem to enjoy that one in that sort of Dungeon Synth kind of setting.
Right.
Because I think the records that came after that. I evolved a lot after that. It became a little more epic-ish, and then the songs got shorter, and all of a sudden I was doing like English lyrics. So I suppose the atmosphere on the first album, I kind of moved away from it, and it was just natural because you evolve as an artist. But looking back, I realized the first one was kind of different.
Did you feel like it was a step back or anything like that, having to play that and having to kind of have these requests to play it? Is that something that you're
No,
okay
that
with?
was my choice. Because I did a similar thing a few years back when I did the Åndens Opera and I re-recorded the whole thing and it became Spirit of Rebellion. and I toured that a lot, and I was like, fuck, I can't just keep playing the same thing.
Yeah.
And I kind of enjoyed that whole going on stage and being just me. Maybe I also bring a drummer sometimes to make it a bit more organic. So I like that because it's uncomplicated, as opposed to doing the whole band thing where, you know, you're 4 people and there's so many things that go wrong and there's like 4 fucking different brains colliding and stuff like that. So I realized it was quite an easy gig to do these things, and I liked the atmospheres of it, and you know, as opposed to many years ago where I had kind of a problem with my 90s stuff, which turned out to be more like a problem I had with myself. It wasn't really the stuff in the 90s. It was my brain being dumb, depression and all that stuff, you know. But anyway, it was just my own choice, because I always thought like, well, this kind of worked out when I re-recorded that Omden album. I thought, well, this is kind of cool. I enjoyed it. So after a while, I'm thinking, well, if I ever do this again, I'm going to do it with the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it seemed like your original intent was to be a solitary project. You know, were you doing that because you were just wanting to be independent like that, or were you just couldn't find the right people? Like, how did it start in that way?
In the beginning?
Yeah.
I think it was more about me being sick of being in bands, you know, because I'd done a couple of bands before Emperor that kind of failed. Well, we never really had a chance to fail even, but it was just sort of, I was the only guy, I think, in those bands that really kind of wanted to take it a few steps up, you know, and get something done. And so those were a couple of bands, and they didn't go anywhere. Then Emperor happened, and that was definitely going places, but with my temper back in the day, and other issues, you know, it lasted about 1.5 years or something like that. So once that sort of part of my life was over, and those 3 bands that kind of happened, bam, 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 you know, I was a little sick of it. I was like, fuck, bands suck. It sucks being in a band because, you know, they either fail or I get fired. So that kind of triggered the desire to, if I'm going to keep doing music, which I wanted because I always loved music, I'm just going to do this on my own. And at that point, I was heavily into Tangerine Dream and synthesizer stuff like 70s, atmospheric synthesizer music and stuff like that. So I'm thinking I could try making music on keyboards. I never intended to sound like Tangerine Dream or anything like that, because I used to look at all the old albums and look at these. Look, I had a bit of a cold, by the way. That's why I sound a bit stuffy.
No worries. No problem.
I was looking at all these old photos from the records with like all the modulars and the walls of fucking modular synthesizers. I didn't even know what a fucking modular was. I was reading the list of equipment, and I'm like, I never heard about any of this. Like, I recognized Roland and Korg.
Sure, yeah.
And Yamaha, you know, like the big companies, you know. And then I was on this like fucking PPG waves and fucking these obscure sequential circuits. What the fuck? ARP? Yeah, ARP Odyssey, ARP 2006. What are those things? So you didn't see those. They were old even by that point. They were ancient even then, so, you know, that didn't barely exist. So I was like, I'm not going to copy stuff I don't even understand, but I love the idea of making music on keyboards. And also the fact that they their old album, the old Clash Rules albums, Tangerine Dream and some of the other bands, you know, they had like these 30-minute long songs, and I thought that was awesome.
Yeah,
broke all the rules, you know.
Exactly. Yeah,
I really like that.
It's really interesting how you kind of created that style at that point in time. I
didn't know that I did that. Well, I just made music.
Yeah, that's how it happened.
Yeah, yeah. But it's really interesting how you went from these full bands and you're like, I want to play keyboards and make some kind of keyboard-driven music, and you're referencing Tangerine Dream, and then
I always do.
Yeah, and then what you come up with is your early records on Cold Meat and all that. Like it's pretty remarkable. Like you can definitely see some similarities with things like with black metal, but it's really it was completely unique at the time.
I think the parallels with black metal was obviously it was in my blood at the time, because I'd just come out of the whole black metal scene. Like, it had just kind of started. Yeah. Well, it hadn't started because you had the whole wave in the 80s, of course, which was a different thing. But
Venom.
That Norwegian madness that was just about to ensue, back in those days, that had just kind of started, and we didn't really know what was lying ahead. But there was definitely, that sort of extremist attitude was in me, and I just brought that into my keyboard music, with I want to make like the ultimate dark music, like really fucking somber and shit. And I didn't know how to play. It was just like, I'm just gonna make sounds and then make different melodies and piece them together. I didn't have a sequence or anything. I wasn't able to multi-track. And I've never been, I don't know musical theory to this day. I just hear stuff in my head and I just try to fucking put that into the world.
Yeah.
But these days I have the opportunity to multi-track, and I can try stuff out, and I can delete it and go back and try again. Back in those days, I would make melodies, and then I would try to remember that melody while making a second melody that was supposed to layer with the first one.
Yeah.
And I would like to write them down and in color codes and just practice, and hopefully they would fit together once you got into the studio. And back in those days, it was tape machine too, which was kind of cool because it was analog.
Right.
But you couldn't play mistake. You played a mistake, you had to start all over. You can't edit that. It's not fucking Pro Tools.
Yeah. No, man, it's made it so much easier now. Jesus.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you realize, oh shit, that melody that I want to put over that one
doesn't work.
Completely fucking crashes, man. It's like awful.
Yeah.
And you realize that in the studio, and you're like, I'm paying
shit.
for this. So like, so you got to change stuff, and I'm not really a good player, so it's like a big problem, But we figured it out, and sometimes I didn't care. I was like, I said just one note. It's like kind of like a little dissonant over there, and like, fix it in the mix.
Yeah.
Which is impossible. You don't fix it in the mix. You think you're going to fix it in the mix, but you don't.
You don't.
Right. It's always better to do it right off the bat and just get it right the first time, right?
Yeah.
It's fucked, it's fucked, man.
Exactly. Those early albums seemed like they were almost not improv, but almost like you're coming up with it on the spot. But it sounds like to me like you had a lot of it written out and just.
Well, they were kind of like anything but improv. They were really actually quite practiced in, and I had written everything down with all the fades, and I'd written down all the notes for every effect that was going to be on each sound, with the attack and the release of the sound. It had these primitive keyboards, so you only really had quite limited ability to edit your sounds. It was basically like attack and release and sustain as just one envelope, and I didn't really know about filters, stuff like that, Later on, when I realized what filters were, I was like, "That's fucking techno crap, man."
Yeah.
But I mean, I love filters now. I think they're fantastic. You can create incredible atmospheres using them. But at the time, I didn't understand that. And I'm kind of glad because I think it's better the way that it is, instead of like too much sort of studio trickery.
Sometimes I think technical limitations really lend themselves to creativity in ways that you wouldn't be creative otherwise. Those type of limitations sometimes really help me anyway.
These days, a lot, what I catch myself doing a lot is like shit. I'm on the third day of just tweaking. I haven't actually worked on music.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking tweaking shit.
Yeah.
I'm not working on actual music, and sometimes it's kind of like, okay, that's enough of that. So there was none of that back in those days. It was just music.
Yeah. It seems like you have a pretty impressive wall of gear behind you.
Yeah.
I see at least 4 keyboards, a few different racks.
I got, there's more than that.
Yeah,
Wow.
I imagine.
Are you? Well, this is cool when it works. It's always something that malfunctions.
Truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. I gotta call my repair guy.
Are you in Oslo?
No, I'm about an hour away.
Okay.
Fredrikstad.
Okay.
Which is close. I don't know if you can imagine Norway in your head, but it's kind of like towards. I think it's like southeast of Oslo, which closer to the Swedish border.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
About a half an hour from Sweden.
Okay, great.
Do you have? Does all that equipment overwhelm you? Do you get inspired by having all the newer equipment, or do you keep up with that kind of stuff? Like, yeah.
A lot of this stuff isn't really that new.
Nice.
It probably just looks like it from a distance. I mean, there's like a lot of Dynacords and stuff. Looks like old German weird fucking echoes.
That's awesome.
And Bucket Brigade delays, stuff like that. And I think the newest thing here is might be the Decker's Dream synth, which is like the CS80 Vangelis synth,
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Amazing.
Which is fucking expensive, and I haven't really used it yet.
Oh, damn. You can get your money's worth out of it.
I haven't really learned it, but there was a guy selling it on one of those sort of Norwegian Craigslist, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I fucking love Vangelis and Blade Runner,
Yeah.
And I know that's like apparently it's a very nice tribute to that synthesizer. Like, it sounds quite similar. And it was selling it at a pretty good price, and I had the money, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to buy it.
Nice.
Because at least I have it now,
right.
So I can use it whenever I get around to it. It's going to have to be its own album or something like that, just using that one.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So that's probably the newest piece of equipment that I have here. I mean, it's like Eventides and other old shit, it's like 80s, 70s, and 80s stuff mostly.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Very
cool.
cool.
I like.
How do you feel about the term dungeon synth?
I'm okay with it now. When somebody brought that up to me, it's got to be like it must be closing in on a decade now.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned it. I thought it was a bit silly. My first thought was, are they serious, or are they just kind of laughing at that type of music, or are they being funny? Yeah. And the second thought I had, how do you get electricity in the dungeon?
Yeah, it's an oxymoron or whatever that's called. Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
That was kind of like, that was my sort of humorous thought about it. And so I thought it was a little silly, and it didn't sound. It doesn't sound as cool as heavy metal. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Black metal. That's like fucking.
Yeah, exactly.
Dungeon synth. I had to live with it for a while. Now I kind of like it. But I guess it's because the genre hasn't. I wouldn't say it's not a big commercial thing, but it's within its own realm. It seems to have expanded quite a lot.
Yeah.
Pretty immensely in the last 10 years.
While also remaining underground. So it kind of reminds me a lot of that sort of like 80s death metal, thrash metal, but at a smaller level. But it's like, it didn't go like this. It just went like this.
Yeah.
If that visualization makes any sense.
Totally, yeah.
So I've been living with it, and I'm like, I think it's cool now. I've gotten so used to it, I couldn't imagine it being called anything else.
Yeah. Do you think you have
it's like that old band Kiss, right? It's that shitty fucking band name.
Yeah.
It's just a sound now, and it couldn't be any other sound.
That's right.
Yeah.
It has to be Kiss.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a stupid name.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
That's what it's got to be that.
You don't even think about the connotation or what it even means anymore. It's just Kiss,
Yeah.
It's like
Exactly.
Yeah, it transcends any meaning. It's like just sounds in a word now at this point.
I think maybe that's what's happening to Dungeon Synth. At least in my mind, it's just accepted, and that's what it is.
Yeah. Do you have any concept of how large Dungeon Synth has gotten in the last 10 years or so?
I know there's a lot of projects.
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest, beyond that, I don't know. I don't think there are any huge sellers in the sense that he sold 50,000 albums.
No, I don't
way.
I don't think that's. I don't think anything is big in that sense. But
I just mean
my impression is. Sorry.
I just mean the number of projects.
Right
now.
And that's what I was about to say. It kind of feels like every fucking black metal musician, at least, has a side project that is a Dungeon Synth project. So they're all kind of like carving out their own little space in that space.
Yeah.
That's my impression anyway. I could be wrong about it.
I mean, we here in Portland, there's Dungeon Synth festivals. There's a real scene for it that didn't exist even 10 years ago.
Less, I would say.
Yeah, less than 10 years, maybe even 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Do you take any credit for creating this genre? Do you think that's accurate to say that you created this?
Everybody should pay me royalties for everything they do.
I would happily do that.
Great answer.
Okay, just send all that shit to Mortiis.
That is so great. No, I don't know. I mean, I don't. I know. I was early, and I guess most of them know who I am.
Yeah.
I suppose. I think some new players probably don't even know, because it already now.
It's true. It's been so long.
Dungeon Synth has actually been around for a few years, so you have there are sort of rookies within a rookie genre. I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but there's new people coming into a relatively new scene. And this old dude that was doing that shit fucking back in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's a bit like someone getting into black metal, death metal, thrash metal now may not know who Venom were.
Yeah, right. That's true.
You know, and if you play them Venom, they think it sucks too.
Yeah,
Right.
This is hard rock or something. Yeah.
I think they should die because of it. But
Yeah.
fucking. So I'm not comparing myself to Venom in any way, but I mean the same principle I think kind of applies a little bit. Where you know, it's not like I have constant exposure every fucking day to everybody that listens to Dungeon Synth. I mean, I pop up once in a while, and then you know, I've seen some of these sort of forums where someone has about, you know who that is?
Yeah.
That's fucking Mortiis. Show some respect to some asshole guy or something. And I'm like, right.
Yeah.
So there's definitely like a generational gap or something.
For sure.
How's that feel to have all the older stuff reissued? Even that VHS has been reissued, and this new Shadow of the Tower thing that you put out and stuff.
Oh yeah, the tape I found on
yeah, that's really cool. You did that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a droney thing. I don't know what kind of music that really is. It was made in the same time, but I was slowly transitioning over to like more industrial music. You know, back in the late '90s, so I was getting into that. But I mean, I control a lot of that stuff, not all of it, because Earache unfortunately owns stuff like Crypt of the Wizard and the Stargate. So, although the Crypt album is in a way being reissued now, actually in a couple of weeks, out of season.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we found a little bit of a loophole
Good.
in that old terrible Earache contract. I mean, it's basically like a deal with the devil. You know, you can't get out of it.
Even like this many years later, still held up.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they're assholes.
Is it one of those in perpetuity type agreements?
Yeah, in perpetuity for the known universe, I think it says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty encompassing. Yeah.
Yeah, my band got offered an Earache contract,
screwed.
and it was the same thing. Like in this universe and every known universe or something like that. And
because now, of course, you know, Marvel might be onto something. There are multiple universes, right? So that they can sell my fucking...
They covered that as well, yeah.
They can sell to all the parallel versions of the people that already bought the fucking album. They can sell it again. But they probably bought the album in the parallel universe, I guess. It's like reality.
Yeah, exactly, maybe.
So it's like, what's the point, you know?
Yeah. Have they been keeping up with reissuing it or anything? I haven't even heard. I don't know. They're just sitting on it, I think, right?
I'm sorry?
Are they just sitting on those albums on Earache, or are they actually... Is Earache doing anything with that stuff?
No, the last time they reissued anything was, I guess, back in 2007 or 8 or something like that. It took... because they own my first album in the world except for the United States. So I can do reissues of it over in the U.S. legally.
Yeah,
that's why that's going on sometimes.
I see.
In the rest of the world, I had to be very careful about selling it because, you know, they tried to fucking... They got all shitty about... I remember once on my web store, I sold a few cassettes of it. You know, I'm sitting over here in my web store over here, and they emailed me and said that you can't do it.
Oh my God.
You own it here. And I'm like, it's a couple of fucking cassettes. Just don't do it.
Wow.
They're fucking crazy. These are the people that put out fucking Morbid Angel. They made a lot of money, and they go fucking bitching over cassettes, man.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not about the money. It's about the fucking power and control.
Right.
Because they're not good in the head.
It's a headache as well as earache, right?
Assache. Assache, we call them.
Assache. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, speaking of labels, I wanted to talk to you a second about Cold Meat. I felt like your work with Cold Meat was really appropriate for that label. You know, sharing
I think it was different for them, but it worked.
It was different, but like, but with acts like Raison d'Etre and things like that. I remember in the 90s, Cold Meat was really big for me. After a while, I kind of like lost track of them a little bit, but I thought it was really interesting. You kind of going from like this black metal background to really feeling like, at least from my perspective, it felt like your albums were very much at home on that label.
I thought it worked out. I mean, I know it was different from what he had put out earlier, but I was like you. I was a fan of the label. I discovered Cold Meat through one of those Slayer mags. I think it was like Slayer 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And it was an interview with Roger and back of it. And he looked like he put on some like weird makeup, but it looked like his eyes had been gouged out or something. And for like 92, that was fucking different, man. I was like, this is fucking darker than the black metal stuff I've seen so far. You know,
those early Brighter Death Now records are some of my favorite shit.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard the music at the time. Well, it's not music, really. It's just sounds.
Yeah.
But I just saw this photo of him sitting in a couch, like it was like so suicidal looking, you know.
Yeah.
And so I wrote the label based on that photo alone, you know. And,
wow. Oh, really? Okay.
And, yeah. Oh, yeah. And well, that's how we did it back in those days in the 80s too. It was all face value. Like, you know, if a band had whoever had the coolest record sleeve, that was the album I was going to buy.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
You know, back in the 80s. And so Necrophagia, you know, like with Season of the Dead, obviously, I mean, I bought that one immediately. Yeah. Remember that one?
Yep. Yeah, but that's how I got...
Zombies fucking eating that corpse.
Yeah, of course. It's amazing.
It doesn't sound that hardcore now, but
no.
In 87, that was insane.
Oh, yeah, we were there. Yep. Did the same thing back then.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So I wrote him, and he got back to me, and I ordered some stuff, and I got like the Pain in Progress LP. I remember that, and some other stuff, and Race on Death. You know, had like Prospectus 1, I think, was out at the time. And it's Slaughter Natives, you know, stuff like that.
I love and Slaughter Natives. That's so good.
Yeah. Oh, it's fucking great, man. He's cool. He actually mastered some later albums for me, actually, like many years later. So he's a great guy.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So after a while, I sent him a tape of my first album, and he was like, "Fuck, man, I want to put this out." And I can't do that because I'm signed with Malicious Records in Germany. But we're going to put out the first one, but I have another one recorded, basically. So we got into a deal, and
nice.
Then a lot of the cold meat industry sort of elitist people got a little pissed off because I came out of the wrong scene, you know.
Right.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Metal guy.
Yeah. That reminds me of Vond.
Yeah. The only reason that exists was because the music was slightly different than Mortiis. Looking back, I should have just put everything out as Mortiis.
I would have. I was wondering that.
More interesting discography, really, instead of just watering it out with all these side projects. But, you know, that's like sort of thinking in hindsight, you know, I can't fucking change it. It is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
Did you feel like that was a natural progression, the Vond, what you were into, coming from early Mortiis, or was I forget the timeline exactly, but...
Well, the first Vond was recorded just a couple of months after the first Mortiis.
Wow.
They were kind of made at the same time.
Really?
And it was actually released before the first Mortiis because that was on a different label called Necromantic Gallery, I think. They were putting out the LP. And they were quicker to just get shit done than Malicious. So it's really weird. My side project was released before my main project. Yeah. So that it doesn't make sense. And it kind of pissed me off at the time, but I was also excited that my first LP that I'm on. It was a big deal to be on. Yeah. I'm on that wax. That's me fucking playing there. You know, that was incredible to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it still kind of is, but I mean, it was a way bigger deal at the time, you know, back in 94 or whenever that came out. I thought that was fantastic.
Do you want to talk about the cover? Or what was the cover art is just so shocking, you know?
Is it?
I don't know. To me, like when I remember in '94, it was for me. It was like, what? I
think it was probably more shocking at the time. But you got to also think about, like, you know, if you ever collected like punk singles or punk albums, they put way worse shit on their covers. There were like all kinds of suffering and war, fucking atrocities and stuff right there on the sleeve.
Yeah, that's true.
Not because they liked it, but because they were against it. It was like, look at this shit that's happening in this world.
Yeah.
So a couple of people sitting in a bathtub with a knife. It's not really that bad, but I think it. But it got banned, I think, in Germany.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I think yeah, because this was back in the day when records were still sold in stores and stuff. There were still record stores and shit like that, and people were buying CD, and vinyl was dying, you know. And and I remember the guy from, because Malicious were putting out the CD version of it, and when that eventually came out, they told me something along the lines of like, shit, it's been banned in German stores.
Wow.
It was never made to sell, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
The atmosphere of the cover, though, is really intense.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The subject matter might not be too crazy, but the atmosphere of it is...
It's an intense...
Well, the subject matter is pretty dark. It was about suicide. And it was basically, the lyric basically kind of encourages taking your own life.
Yeah.
Which is, I wouldn't have done that today. I have kids now. I feel more responsible about things. But back in those days, it's basically a poem about, like, don't worry about it. Just take your life. It's not that bad.
Wow.
Death might be preferable.
Yeah.
I was a little depressed back in those days and a little dark-minded.
To you, as an adult, do you look back on that, and you're, all of us maybe were obsessed with death in the early '90s, and I don't know, in our youth.
It was a thing, Yeah, we were definitely. I don't know, there was something aesthetic about it. Like, I think we thought about it in like artful terms in a way.
Yeah.
Even though I can't explain that any better, I guess it was just a fascination, like a morbid fascination with it. Still have it in a way.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever going to go away. I like dark things. It's just my personality.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I like for dark things to happen to people.
That's right.
True.
From an art perspective, I find it attractive.
I find like it's a looking death in the face kind of thing, almost maybe becoming a little more used to the inevitability that we will die, and maybe that's something that I should be okay with. So I'm going to face it.
The inevitability of Dungeons & Sims.
It's coming for you.
Coming. Yeah. Whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Whether you like it or not. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I would like to play a modern dungeon synth track.
You could play the one that I had from Bandcamp. It's definitely influenced by Mortiis, and it's interesting to listen to it, compared to his early stuff at least. Or if you want to go ultra modern, you can play the Malfet one. I don't know what the
ultra modern.
Yeah, modern dungeon.
And it's all interconnected.
Yeah.
So this is a friend of mine. This is a track from an album I mastered this last year. It's called "To Assail the Thresholds of Woe" by Malfet.
Oh yeah, I know him.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay. So maybe you've heard this before. That's cool. I haven't heard that track before.
I wonder if the kids are really into D&D and stuff. I wonder if that has kind of made the genre more,
Oh, maybe so.
because they're listening to it while they play D&D or something. Because it's such a medieval melodies there and all these things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like he's been listening to actual medieval music.
Yeah. I get that feeling as well.
At least in that second part there.
Yeah. Had you heard that before, Mortiis?
Well, I did a few shows with Malfit, like when I toured the US, I think in 2020, right before the pandemic.
Okay.
Malfit was on, I think 3 of them actually. I think a couple of in California, and then his hometown where they put on like a Mortiis show, Mortiis/Malfit show.
Wow.
Which was sort of like not part of the tour. Like by that I mean my agent wasn't involved with it. It was like between me and him, but just tacked it on at the end of the tour.
Right.
But he was cool. But I'm never able to check out bands right before I go on because putting on all that makeup and the mat, it takes about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Does it really? Wow.
So yeah. Well, I can do it quicker, really, but I always got to like factor in like an hour just for safety.
Yeah.
In case there's a problem.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you feel like
It
that's
happens. It happens.
Is there like a ritualistic thing about putting on the makeup and doing the whole thing? Is that, I guess, I don't know. How do you feel about doing it? Is it more of a drag than anything, or do you really enjoy it?
I think it's like part drag, part ritual.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
There's definitely a sense of turning into something different visually. You're very much aware when you put all that stuff on. I mean, I know I don't look like I usually do.
Yeah.
So there's a sensation to that. Don't know if it's ritualistic. There's a lot of glue in the draggy part.
Yeah.
Get my face stick on.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
enough.
Cool music. A lot of fucking reverb, man.
This is true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I dug that
It
track.
sounded it almost doesn't really sound like synthesizers anymore. When you put on that much reverb and echo and stuff like that, it just sounds like it's in a big fucking room, like a hall.
Right. And
or something.
with, like modern VSTs, it sounds a little more realistic as well in that regard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Just like using modern VST synth instruments, it sounds a lot more realistic than something on an old 90s keyboard would have sounded. Yeah.
What you mean when you wash it in reverb, or?
Either, yeah, right. Or even just on its own. I feel like.
Yeah. I don't know. Do they use VSTs or they use real instruments? I mean, or real keyboards, like hardware stuff?
Combination of both, I believe. I think a lot of it is a lot of VST stuff on Apple Logic.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've gone the hardware route the last few years myself. But I use a lot of I use samplers a lot, like old samples like Mellotrons. And,
great.
Chamberlain's, Chamberlain is kind of like a Mellotron. This sounds a bit cleaner. Came out like in the 50s and the 60s. Like it's like a taped loop based sort of like keyboard thing, like a Mellotron is. But it has a fucking great. One of the sounds is like a male operatic voice, which is fucking fantastic.
Wow.
That's like all the choir stuff from that Spirit of Rebellion album that I put out. That's all like Chamberlain samples. So that's basically like a 50s fucking recording all over.
Wow. That's so cool. Wow.
That's really cool.
And for fun, I thought, well, they might be cheap in real life. There might be like a Hammond organ, like nobody wants them anymore. Like, you can get it for free. And I checked that out on Reverb, and it's like $13,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll stick to my samples.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Jory, what's your relationship with Malfit? Did you master that record?
I did master that record. So I first came across Malfit I've engineered or mastered a lot of vinyl for the record label Dungeons Deep Recordings out of Ohio, and they put out all of most of Malfit's discography, and that's how I came across them. Was their first record, The Snaking Path. That was my first connection with them, and then I corresponded through email with Ross of Malfit for a few years after that, and I finally got to see him at was it Litha Cascadia?
Yeah.
Oh, he played that. Cool.
2022. Yeah, and that's where we got to meet finally for the first time. And then I saw him again just recently at the Star Theater for the Dungeon Synth show that was there. So, yeah, great cool. Human being.
Nice.
Yeah, he's nice.
Love his music. So, yeah.
What album of yours are you most proud of there, Mortiis? I think you have such a variety of sounds coming out of your mind that I'm just curious about that.
I think the new one when that comes out.
Yeah, of course.
That should always be the answer anyway.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
That's true. Well, my new was not quite as good as those other 5. That would.
Yeah, you're never gonna say that.
That's a bad sign, man.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of was always pissed me off when Iron Maiden would do that or something. It's like, come on, we know we're not talking about Power Slave here. So let's just stop saying that this isn't good.
But they have to say that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well, it's a new album. It's not top 10. But
Yeah.
Right.
We phoned
It's
this
an
one
album.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. It's in the contract.
Yeah, it is.
Got to do it. So no. I mean, I don't know. I was pretty happy with Spirit of Rebellion when that came out, but I know it's a re-recording, like 50-50, re-recording 50% new. So I thought that was kind of cool. But to be honest, I think from the Mortiis discography record, the record that I'm probably the most proud of so far, it's not a Dungeon Synth album. It's like it's one called The Great Deceiver, which is like industrial rock type of thing. Because I've kind of felt like we made a really good industrial rock sounding album, and we beat a lot of like obstacles and tackled a lot of problems at the time. Personal shit and firing members and firing management and firing merch suppliers. I fired everybody around me while I was in the studio, and in the end it was just me and the guitar player, nobody else. Fired management. Wow. And my wife almost fired me. So it was a crazy fucking time, and nobody were interested in Mortiis at the time too, because that kind of music was kind of dying away. Nobody really cared too much about industrial rock at the time, and everything was kind of like this tapering off, and which was very frustrating because I knew we were making such a great album. So it was kind of like more. It's a exercise in just perseverance and just fucking sticking to it and just doing it. And the album sold nothing. Nobody knows that it exists. But fuck it. I love that album, and I'm still proud of it.
When did that come out?
It came out around 2016.
Okay.
We went out on this really weird tour with Mushroom Head in the U.S.
No, really?
Before it came out. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
And yeah, it was everything. It was this weird fucking day. So we did a couple of UK tours around that. I mean, they were okay. We toured with Pig, which was fucking great, by the way.
Oh, okay.
If you remember, like old Raymond Watts, the old KMFDM guy and all that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And had several KMFDM members on that tour too. So that was it was a cool tour. Badly promoted as everything was at the time in my life. So it was like you work shitloads and then nobody else does a fucking thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So story of my fucking life sometimes. But yeah, cool album. Not Dungeon Synth at all, but probably the one that I'm most proud of for many reasons.
Nice.
Yeah, interesting.
How do you feel now about working with others versus working on your own, and what's your future like for that?
The way I work with people now is mostly that I sit here in the studio mostly alone. If I have someone in here, it's usually for some vocals or some little guitar effects or something like that. I'll just send them tracks like stems, with maybe some guide tracks, like if I want someone to sing something, choirs and shit like that. I'll just write a long fucking email explaining what I want. Nice. And tagging along guide tracks and stems and things like that, just trying to describe as much as possible, avoiding the phone as much as I can because I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I'm weird like that. Don't like the phone. When the phone rings, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm not expecting a
Who's
call.
doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me nervous, man, for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, so that's the way it's done, really. Nice. And it usually works out really well. Some people do not take instructions at all. It's like they do exactly the opposite of what I want to do. And so there's a lot of back and forth, but we always nail it in the end.
Yeah, that's great.
With a little bit of auto tune.
Nice. You'll get there eventually. Yeah.
Shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you working with a label for this new record?
I have a couple of labels on because this is more like this isn't one of those license situations. But like when I license out stuff that I own, it's always like almost like a handshake kind of deal. Like, okay, so you're gonna do 500 copies or something on LP, and you'll give me 100 copies, and I'll sell it to the web store. They're just simple, easy deals. When I create a whole new album from scratch, it's a little bit more serious for me.
Yeah.
Especially with this kind of music, which is, it might have a couple of dungeon synth kind of moments, but it's very atmospheric sounding, but it's quite a wide palette of sounds and music. So
very cool.
This is something I want to be a little bit more serious about it, in the sense that if I'm going to sign with a label for this, it's going to have to be a little bit of money involved. I put a lot of cash into this, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I have a house and I have 2 cars and all that kind of shit. So you got bills, man. So if you want this, you got to pay me.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. So I got a couple labels that we're kind of negotiating with right now, but it's a bit early stages, so I'm not going to say who they are.
Yeah.
Sort of mid-sized labels. It's nothing major. But then again, I don't know if I want major. It's basically just a big ass fuck, really.
Yeah, you've been through it. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah. Fingers crossed that they'll give me a good deal, but who knows? I'm always prepared to just tell them to fuck off and just do it on my own too. So
thanks.
Always an option.
And done that. That's always an option. I've done that before. It's like I said to one of the labels. I said it straight out. If you don't give me a fucking good offer, I would rather give this album away for free. And I did that once with an album called Perfectly Defect. To put it out on Bandcamp for free.
Wow.
And then 2 weeks later, I had a 15,000 people fucking mailing list. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That has value too, man.
I think that's the future, right? It's like being in control completely, your own self. I know it's a lot more work, but
yeah, I try to. But I mean, you got to give something up if you want labels to invest in you. You have to give something up too at the same time. Right. Just not for perpetuity in all known universes.
Yeah, exactly.
So
the Marvel universe and the meta universe.
Yeah. Everybody has to make money and be happy, and that makes a lot of sense to me. It's not just about the one side; it's got to be about both sides.
Yeah, exactly.
That also creates, when everybody's happy, everybody wants to move on and continue, and that's motivation. Then I want to make another album for you because you're treating me nice, and you want to put another album with me because hopefully it sells.
Yeah.
So that's the way it should be. But most labels don't fucking get it. They're not happy until you're miserable.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
I have such a positive outlook.
Yeah, you do.
Do you have any plans for any live performances coming up, or are you just focusing on the record?
I'm all over the place all the time. It looks like, well, we are, as long as the visas come through, we are touring China in March.
Oh, wow.
Shit.
Nice.
So cool.
Yeah. Going to bring back some COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact,
I'm sure you will.
Yeah, and right after that, it looks like we're heading off to Australia. That's going to be my second tour there, but it's going to be like a very small venue kind of tour. But I'm kind of glad to just go back there, man.
That's great.
It's going to be like small, really small clubs. But it's kind of cool. Australia is so far away, so almost nobody gets to play there.
Yeah. Have you played there before?
Yeah, I did a tour, toured Australia and New Zealand back in 2018.
Okay,
nice.
And in 2020, we started discussing doing another tour. And then, of course, the week after, the world shut down.
Right.
And it shut down for about 2 years.
Yeah. Yep. I heard about that.
Yeah, that's weird. That happened to you. Yeah. It didn't happen to us, man.
No.
Yeah. No, America was totally safe.
I had my flights over canceled. I was going to New York in like late February or something, or early March.
Yeah.
And for some stuff. And every day I would look at my flight like it was canceled, and it was back on, then it was canceled, it was back on, and then all of a sudden the world shut down. And I got my money back though, so
good.
It was annoying. It was kind of an important trip, but fuck it, shit happens.
Yeah. I don't want to keep you too long, but I do have a little diversion that I want to ask you about quickly. The Emperor Reunion show that you joined, like, how did that go for you? You played like a few songs. Is that correct?
Yeah, the first one, I think in the beginning it was just going to be me and Foul sort of guesting on that live stream thing that they did. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I should say we, because I was there.
Yeah.
Well, that was only 2 songs, which was kind of okay. It was the fuck was it? It was we used to always cover Bathory back in the day, like Called from the Grave, and then we did Wrath of the Tyrant, I think.
Yeah.
Was the other one. So we did that for like the streaming thing, and that was pretty cool. And I guess they liked the way that turned out, because a bit later on they asked if I could do 3 shows. I was only able to do 2 of them. They wanted me to also go to London and do like a big show there. But I was on tour with Mayhem at the time, so I wasn't able to do that. We toured with Mayhem in Europe.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Like a month and a half or 2 months or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we did like a Swedish festival, and then we did that. The cool one, the really cool one, was that up in Bergen at the the fuck was that called?
Beyond the Gates. Yeah.
Yeah.
That looked
so
amazing.
That was us.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And by that point, we were doing 4 songs. I think we had added Celtic Frost, Usurper. That was the other cover song we always did at rehearsals back in 92, 91, 92. And then there was I'm the Black Wizards.
Great.
Which is more technical. I had to practice. I hadn't played the bass 30 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I had to go upstairs. Like every day I went upstairs like for like an hour or 2 hours just fucking practicing the bass. And I was pretty much able to pull through without looking too damn bad.
That's good. That's good.
So, I mean, Under Black Wizards is a much more difficult song to play as opposed to like Wrath of Time, which is kind of like just a groovy, heavy song, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then not to mention Call from the Grave, which is like super heavy, kind of like almost doomy kind of playing, you know?
Yeah, totally.
It's got almost, and Celtic Frost is basically Black Sabbath, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
When you think about it. That heavy riffing.
That Nightside stuff is pretty technical at times, so I can imagine that's kind of a beast to
that was the one where it's got that weird time signatures and fucking syncopated shit. And all of a sudden you're like flying into a different riff like halfway through what the fuck we just changed.
Yeah. Was Faust playing all those shows with you too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did 3 and Faust was there. We kind of came on at the same time together.
Right.
So
okay.
Cool. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Was that cool playing with those guys again, like on those big festivals?
Yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
We still get along.
Yeah, that's good.
Better now probably than back then.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes people get older and you get more perspective and
Yeah, and the weird thing is, like, even though we've been apart, like living in different cities for so many decades now, when we get together and talk, you realize how fucking similar your lives are, really, you know, with kids and how life sort of evolves. And, you know, so we have more in common now, of course, than we did back then. Because back then it was just music. That was pretty much it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, these days it's like a whole life of experience. And usually it's a lot of the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, Mortiis, it was a pleasure to have you on.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks so much. We super enjoyed talking to you. I think we're probably going to release this episode in the next week or so. It's got some editing to do. And,
in the next never.
No,
he's pretty good about it.
I'm good about this shit.
In this universe, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm good
in
about
next
it.
universe.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I own this podcast episode in this universe and all known universes.
Nice.
So.
For perpetuity, of course.
In perpetuity. Yeah. It was a pleasure, man.
Yeah,
thanks so much for hanging out
man.
and talking with us.
Thank
and I'll keep you in the loop about when this launches.
Okay.
All right, man.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks so much for your
Thanks
time.
for everything, man.
All right.
Cool.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
An Earth in Sound production.